Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about the largest event of the year at the fly shop, and finally I'm going to explain exactly what the Cheese Cup is. Now you may have heard about this event maybe on our social media or on our website and thought, that's kind of a weird name. We get it, that name is misleading. I'll explain where it came from in just a minute. But what you need to know, it's our annual warm water fly fishing catch and release tournament. And the whole essence of the event is to have fun and help raise money for suicide prevention in northern Michigan. Before we get into the format and how you can participate in the Cheese Cup and have fun with us out on the water, let's talk about how this all got started and why it's called the Cheese Cup. Unfortunately, back in 2017, we lost a dear friend of ours at the shop, Alex Hawk, to suicide. Now, Alex would work at the shop when he was home from college during the summer, and even after he graduated and was working in town, he'd come hang out at the shop with us. He was a smart guy, always had something funny to say, you know, when you wouldn't expect it. So his loss was just a total, colossal shock to the shop. And it was something that we really struggled to deal with for a little bit, but we had this energy like, you know, you have to do something, what can we do? And it kind of manifested in a way into this tournament. We decided there's other people out there struggling with issues like this. Let's raise some money for suicide prevention. Let's get this out there where people are more comfortable to talk about it, I hope. And it's really worked out well for us. You know, in just a few years, we've raised thousands of dollars for suicide prevention programming in northern Michigan, specifically through Child and Family Services of Northwest Michigan. It's been really cool, and we've been so lucky to have some amazing sponsors and just overly generous friends and family that have poured energy and humor and fun into this event to make it what it has become. All right, the name, the Cheese Cup. I know it's very misleading, but that was Alex's nickname when he was working at the shop. How we got that's another story for another time, but we wanted to have the event really help us hold the memory of him, and that's why we went with that, and we've had some fun with it. You know, some of the prizes over the years have been like spray cheese, some weird stuff like that, because why not have fun with it, right? We're all trying to be out there having a good time, but that's why it's called the Cheese Cup and why it's going to stay the Cheese Cup. All right, let's talk format. How do I get out there, have some fun on the water, catch some fish? How do I win? Let's jump right in. Now the format has changed a little bit over the years, and I would encourage you, please check out the link below for current rules, regulations, format, etc. How it's gonna happen each year may change depending on situations. Obviously, last year, year of the coronavirus, we had to change things up. We had an entirely at distance event, totally digital, and we learned some cool things. We learned, number one, hey, this is appealing outside of the Grand Traverse region, so we can bring more people in, bring more, you know, event sponsors in, and people can really maybe participate without taking a whole day to drive up to Traverse City and participate where you are. More people participating means we have more people talking about this event and helping us raise money for an important cause. First of all, let's talk about teams. Teams are comprised of 1 to 2 anglers. You can compete by yourself if you don't have anyone. If you need someone in a specific area, let us know. Maybe we can hook you up with somebody else who's looking to get out there and fish, not by themselves. Each team will compete in 4 categories for different species types, and also in the Grand Slam and Super Slam categories. Now, our main core categories are bluegill, bass, pike/muskie, and carp. Traditionally, the carp has been the real tough thing to catch, but I've been pretty impressed the past few years. People have really dialed in where and when and how to catch those carp on the fly. Scoring is going to be fairly simple. We like to keep it that way so there's less confusion. Each team is competing for the largest fish in each category, as well as competing in the Grand Slam and Super Slam categories if you're catching multiple species. I'll get to more about that in a second. So you're going to catch a big fish right? Hopefully. And then you're going to take a picture of it using a normal certified measuring device and send a picture to us, okay? Now, the inches of that fish are going to be your points. Simple as that. If someone else's team catches a larger fish, unfortunately, you're booted out of the top. Now, if you're catching multiple species, you can compete, as I said, in that Grand and Super Slam categories. Grand Slam is going to be 3 out of the 4 species, however you'd like to combine them, and Super Slam is going to be all 4 species. We take your points total, remember, that's your measurement of your largest fish, and that's your team total for the Super and the Grand Slam. Personally, that's where I think the most fun is in this tournament. It's planning and running around during the day trying to catch multiple species. It just gives it a little bit more excitement than grinding for one monster pike or one monster bluegill. I don't know, I like a little bit more of that excitement and multiple species during a day. Prizes. This is going to throw you off a little bit because we get a lot of questions about prizes. Oh, what kind of sweet rod am I going to win? Well, because the focus of this entire tournament, again, is raising money for a very important cause to us, suicide prevention, we keep the prizes really goofy. So you may win the Grand Slam and you may get a case of spray cheese. I don't know, it's different every year. First year we were giving out cassette tapes of Kenny Loggins and Kenny G and stuff like that. We want you to be able to laugh because we don't want this to turn into that over competitive cutthroat kind of tournament. I want everyone to be, convinced that I have just as good a chance to win some cool prizes as anyone else, even if they're guides out there on the water. So what we end up doing with most of our larger prizes is actually drawing at random. Therefore, the guys that are brand new to the sport, maybe there's a 10-year-old just learning to fish for bluegill, they have just as much of a chance to win a really cool prize as someone who's been doing it for 30 plus, 40 years, whatever. Maybe they're even a guide. So tons of chances to win some cool prizes, and we like to even that playing field and bring down the competitiveness a little bit and up the fun level. Last thing I want to talk about is how we're running the event this year with the pandemic. Now this may change in the future. Please, again, click on that link below to get the most current updates and specific rules, regulations, and format for the year that this is going on. But this year we're kind of going to a hybrid model. I know that's been real popular to say, but what's it mean? Well, as I mentioned, we learned a lot by holding a totally at distance event last year, and we're kind of bringing some elements of that into the event for this year. This year we're going to have an optional morning meeting and an optional after party. So those of you who are around, we'd love to see you. Stop down, get a free cup of coffee, get your team picture taken, all that fun stuff before you hit the water. And we hope to see you all afterwards. We're going to have a lot of fun. The big thing we do, this is important, is we will, the night before, tell you a token that you need to have in the boat with you. This will be an item that, is pretty common household. Last year, I think we did spoons or forks that has to be in the picture. That will make sure that no one is tempted to send me some pictures from their pre-spawn Smalley trip, okay, from a week ago. If you're unable to attend that award ceremony and after party, don't worry, you can do so from home. We'll be live streaming on YouTube, much like we were doing with fly tying during the winter, so you can take part, you can still claim your prize, and we can still maybe read your funny team name out so everybody can have a good laugh. All right, we finally answered the big question. What is the Cheese Cup? How do you participate? What the format looks like? Again, all those details are down below. Last thing I want to talk about, if you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts about suicide, please, please, please call the National Suicide Hotline. They're trained to offer you some advice. It's totally anonymous. And check out local resources around you. You can find people you can talk to in person. Okay, you're not alone out there. A lot of people struggle with this. It's not something to be embarrassed about, okay? Hope to see you all this year at the Cheese Cup. If not, maybe in years to come, make a trip to Northern Michigan, come fish with us, have some laughs and a good time. And thanks again for watching. We'll see y'all soon.